Hi, my name is Amy B. Scher. I'm author of How to Heal Yourself When No One Else Can and an energy therapist that helps people clear the blocks that create emotional and physical symptoms. And I get a lot of questions about EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, and people say, I want to use it, but it seems complicated, or I learned it and I just don't know what to say. And so I'm going to do this super quick video on how to use EFT the Amy way, which means the very simple way, because my clients and students know I like the shortcut to everything. So while there are very in-depth and complex ways to use EFT, there's also a really simple way to start, and that's what I'm going to show you. And if you use it and if you like it, you can learn from there. So let's go over what EFT is. EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, is a technique that helps release blocks in the energy system. And what we do is we use tapping points on the face and the body to mobilize that stuck energy and clear it out of the system. We tap on many different points, and I like to use all of them. There are shortcuts out there. While I'm a shortcut person, I don't like shortcuts to effectiveness. So I just go ahead and use all the points because why not? They only each take a couple of seconds. And we're really using them to tap out the blocks in the body. While we're tapping, we're also talking. So when people say they feel like EFT is complicated, I always say there's only two things you have to remember. You need to tap on the points, and you have to talk to bring up the emotion or the block that you're wanting to clear. Tap and talk, that's it. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Now, when we're talking, we're focusing on the challenge or the problem or the reality of what we're feeling, even though that's not always positive. So people worry that when we're tapping and talking about the reality, which might not be positive, that we're tapping that into our systems. And the truth of that is we're not. I could have you tap all day and say, I'm afraid of teddy bears, I'm afraid of teddy bears, and you would never become afraid of teddy bears. We need to bring up the true emotion, which is sometimes not so pleasant, in order to release it. So we're just acknowledging what's already there, and acknowledging what's already there is perfectly fine. Most of us know trying to force the positive onto difficult feelings doesn't erase it. We've all probably tried that. So it's okay to acknowledge whatever's going on in order to release it. So let me tell you the tapping points, and then we're going to go through it, and then we'll do a quick practice session, and then you'll know EFT. The first tapping point is on the karate chop point, on the side of the hand. So all you do is tap on the side of the hand, just like I'm doing here. The next point is on the top of the head, right here. Now, the exact point doesn't matter because what you're doing is you're essentially using the tapping or the percussion effect of the tapping to send a sort of force through the energy pathway in the body and clear out that block. So if I say the point's here and you do it here, doesn't really matter. I teach this to kids all the time and it works. The next point is on the inside of the eyebrow, right here where the eyebrow starts. You go ahead and tap there. You can use 3 fingers, 4 fingers, 2 fingers, doesn't matter. Like I said, easy Amy way. Do it however works for you. It will work anyway. The next point is on the side of the eye, right in front of the temple. You kind of want to go right on that bone. The next point is under the eye at the top of the cheekbone. This one may be sore if you're a worrier. So this is the stomach meridian or the stomach energy pathway, which is connected to the emotion of worry. The next one is under your nose on your top lip where a mustache would be. You go ahead and tap there. The next one is on the indentation of the chin. You tap there. The next one is under the collarbone on either side of the midline of the neck. So if you find the notch in the neck where you would tie a tie, if you go to an inch to either side and right under the collarbone, you've got it. Now, I only tap on one side of the body like this. You can tap on 2, doesn't matter. It will work either way. Just make sure you're under the collarbone. The next one is a few inches under your armpit on the side of the body, right in line with where a bra band would be. So just right here. Usually just reach over and tap. The next ones are fingertip points. So you're going to tap on the lower right-hand corner of each fingernail where the cuticle meets the nail, okay? Again, you don't have to be terribly precise. You just have to be in the area and be tapping so you can create a percussion effect that moves through the meridian. And then your middle finger, and then your ring finger, your pinky finger, And I sometimes use the point on the top of the hand in between the pinky and ring finger, about halfway down in that groove. This is along the triple warmer meridian or triple warmer pathway, and your triple warmer meridian governs your fight, flight, or freeze response. So by tapping on that, it actually can calm fear and that fight, flight, or freeze response. Sometimes I throw it in, sometimes I forget. No big deal either way, but I do try to get it in there when I think of it. Okay, so remember the 2 easy steps. We need to tap and we need to talk about our emotion at the same time. We start doing that by using a setup statement, which has the format, even though I have this, or even though I feel this, and then insert in the blank whatever challenge you have. I choose to release it, or I can be okay anyway, or the standard EFT statement is I love and accept myself completely. You basically need a statement that says, even though I have this, and then a positive affirmation afterwards. I tend to use I choose to let it go as my positive affirmation. So let me just show you what this would look like and tap along with me. Let's say we're going to use the challenge of feeling anxious, okay? Well, I would say, even though I feel anxious, I choose to let it go. Boom, done, setup statement done. It would also be okay to say, even though I feel a pit in my stomach and I have anxiety, I love and accept myself completely. It doesn't matter what you say in this statement as long as it's true for you. You just want to state the problem in the format of even though, and then state some positive affirmation afterwards. So we have, even though I feel anxious, I choose to let it go. That's the most simple format, okay? If you can identify a feeling in your body where you feel the anxiety or whatever it may be, you can throw that in. Even though I feel anxious and I have a pit in my stomach, I choose to let it go. Okay? You can really, truly do this setup statement any way you want. Please don't get stuck on the format. It doesn't matter. I work with a lot of little kids and sometimes I say, even though I feel sad, I'm getting rid of it. Or even though I feel sad, I'm a good boy or a good girl. It doesn't matter. It really, really, really doesn't matter. I know I'm going to get questions anyway, but it doesn't. So 3 times you use your setup statement. Let's focus on something where we might feel anxious about. Go ahead and close your eyes and tune into it for just a second so we can do this together. And I want you to notice how anxious you feel on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being super, super anxious and 1 being not so much. And just pick a number between 1 and 10 about how you feel right now. There's no scoring here. We're just gauging it so that we'll know later how we're doing. Okay, so let's say you're a 6 on whatever it is. Then all you're going to do is do the setup statement, and let's do it together. You repeat after me. Even though I feel anxious, and I feel it in my fill in the blank if you feel it somewhere, I choose to let it go. Perfect. Let's do it 2 more times because we use this setup statement 3 times on the karate chop point. Even though I have a lot of anxiety and I feel really out of control, I'm ready to feel better. Okay, so you can see there I said it in a different way. Doesn't matter because if it's true for me, it'll work. Last statement, we need to do this 3 times. Even though I feel anxious. Oh, and I can't let it go. I'm going to be okay anyway. Okay, so we did the setup statement 3 times. Even though I, and then positive affirmation. You can do it 3 different ways, 3 ways use the same sentence 3 times, doesn't matter. Now we're going to go through all the rest of the points and we're going to tap on how we feel. Now I'm just going to guess because I work with lots of clients and students in my online course on this. So I know usually how people feel when they feel anxious, but when you're doing this, you're going to feel it. You're going to, say how you feel. The rest of the points we're going to go through, we're essentially just venting. What would you tell a friend? What would you tell me if we were talking on the phone? You don't need anything specific here. It's whatever you feel, that's what you say. On the top of your head, I feel so anxious. Inside of the eyebrow, I'm really worried about, repeat after me and fill in the blank. Outside of the eye, I can't seem to let it go. Under the eye, my stomach is in knots. Top lip, I feel anxious. Chin, I just keep thinking about, fill in the blank if there's something you keep thinking about. Collarbone, I feel butterflies in my stomach all the time. Side of the body, all this anxiety stuck in my body. Thumb, lower right hand corner, I feel anxious. I feel anxious. Middle finger, I can't seem to let it go. Next finger, I just feel so anxious. Pinky finger, I keep worrying about, and fill in the blank. Then you can go to the top of your hand point. I just feel really worried. Karate chop point, so anxious. Okay, now let's take a break. We did one round. Usually I do a round or two. Take a break, take some big deep breaths. Let that energy go. It takes a few minutes for energy to move, so if you don't feel better right away, no biggie. Some people shift quickly and some don't. Take another big deep breath. Okay, so after a round or two, all you would do is close your eyes, think about or tune into that anxiety that you were feeling. See if it got any better. Does it still feel like a 6? Does it feel like a 2? Does it feel like a 10? It doesn't matter. We just want to see where we're at so we know if we should keep tapping. So you go ahead and just check in, and then you just go again. You only have to do the setup statement the first time. You don't have to do it every time. So from now on, we'll just go through the points and vent. Remember, venting about the challenge or the issue or whatever you're feeling just means that you're just spewing whatever is in your brain. So much of my job is improv. People always say, how do you know what to say? And I say, I don't. I just like tune into whatever's going on with myself when I tap or with my clients and students, and I just tap, I just talk and tap. I have no idea what's gonna come out of my head, but that's the best. The mistake that many people make when they use EFT is that they really focus on what they're supposed to say and the order they're supposed to say it in, and that disrupts the process of bringing up the emotion so that it can come out of your body, which is what you want. So let's keep tapping. If your number went up or down, it means the energy is moving out of your body. It's doing something, which is good. So yay. If it's stuck at the same number as before, that's also okay. We only did one round. It's not reasonable to think you're going to do 3 or 5 or even 10 rounds and feel better immediately. Everybody's different. Some people feel better after 5 minutes of EFT. I'm one of those people that doesn't feel better until after I've done it for a little while and then some time has passed. And later I'll usually go, wow, I feel better, but it takes my energy a little while to move. So don't also make the mistake of doing 2 rounds and going, EFT doesn't work, because it really does take a little bit to make it happen for most people. So let's keep tapping. If you want, you can close your eyes and tap so you really focus on the emotion coming up and not, what your cat's doing, or, you need to water the plant in the corner of the room, all things that happen in my life. So go ahead and start back at your karate chop point, and we're going to just vent again. I hate having this anxiety. Repeat after me. On the top of your head. It makes me so frustrated. Inside of the eyebrow, I feel so out of control. Outside of the eye, I just don't know what to do to make it go away. Under the eye, it reminds me of when, fill in the blank, if there's a time this reminds you of when you were little and you felt out of control or whatever, throw it in there. Top lip, I feel so out of control. Chin, and I get mad at myself that I can't let this go. Collarbone, I just feel full of anxiety. Side of the body, I feel anxious. Thumb, so much anxiety. Pointer finger, I just don't feel good. Middle finger, it makes my muscles so tense. Next finger, and my stomach turn. Pinky finger, I feel like it'll never go away. Karate chop point, all of this anxiety. Okay, perfect. You did round 2. Take a couple big deep breaths. Let that energy move. Sometimes I like to shake off my arms. You can shake off your legs. You can do a little jig, whatever you want to do. But just let that energy move. Remember, this has been really stuck in your system, possibly for a long time, and you just want to help it kind of move out. Taking drinks of water is helpful. When you're doing EFT, get away from electronics if you can. It helps energy move faster and more efficiently. Just be relaxed and just go through the process. Okay, so now I want you to close your eyes, tune back into that original anxiety that you were feeling, and let's see if you feel any better. Now you can pay attention, does that knot in your stomach feel better? Do you just feel a little bit calmer? Do you feel like whatever you were thinking about before is kind of blurry, or it's not as dramatic, it's not as important? Those things are all signs that the energy is moving. And I'm not going to keep going through these rounds because I want you to learn to do this on your own, but that's all you do. You just keep checking in. You just keep A, tapping, and B, bringing up the energy of how you're feeling. And when you're done, when you feel like your number has gone down, or you're just like, I don't have time for this anymore, I need to go pick up my kids from school or whatever, you're going to do one final round affirming something positive, just to put your body in a little bit more of a settled or calm place. You can come back to the tapping later, but I just like to end on kind of a happy note. That's all it is. So let's do a round on the positive. And this is usually what I do, but you can make it up on your karate chop point. I still have a little anxiety. Repeat after me. Top of the head, but I'm going to be okay. Inside of the eyebrow, I am going to be okay. Outside of the eye, it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Under your eye, but I'm going to be okay. Top lip, I'm going to be okay. I can breathe now. Collarbone, it's safe to relax. Side of the body, sometimes I just get so anxious. But I know deep down I'm going to be okay. Pointer finger, I can keep tapping on this. Middle finger, I can keep working on this. I can be okay. I can be okay. On the top of the hand point, in between the pinky and the ring finger, I'm okay. Karate chop point, I am safe. So that's all. You did it. You learned EFT. Now, there are more complex ways to use EFT, and you are welcome to learn those, but this is just a great way to start. You can plug in any physical symptom, but as you probably know from my work, physical symptoms, I believe, come from emotional imbalances. So it's really important to work on how you're feeling as opposed to just plugging in, even though I have this headache. Because until you get to the emotional aspect, which was very true for me in my own healing, it'll be harder to shift the physical thing. Okay, so try to work on how you're feeling or how you're feeling about that physical symptom. And just tap and just go through the karate chop setup statement 3 times and then vent your little heart out for the rest of it. And again, you already know what to say because you have these thoughts in your head. So there you go, the Amy way for EFT, the simple version. And if you want to learn more, you can go on my website. I teach this. I teach how to really delve into your past and figure out what might have created the anxiety in the first place. But this is an excellent way to start. And all you need, it's totally free. All you need is your fingertips and your voice. And if you don't want to speak it out loud, you can also think it in your head. That's really helpful. If you're in a place where you can't use EFT, you can usually use just the hand points under a table, like at a restaurant or in a meeting. I run to bathroom stalls all the time if I'm out and about and I need EFT. So I hope you've enjoyed this little lesson. Just remember, keep it simple, it's easy, and you can do it.